Good morning, and welcome to another one of my morning mugs. It's a little bit rainy this morning. Rainy and cold, no fun. And as just a odd little side note, what I find odd about the way the cameras are done on the phone, when I upload this later, it's actually going to first have the video upside down, and that's because of the way I have the phone turned. But, I'm right-handed, and so to hit the button, I hold the phone like this, and boom, hit the button. Hold the phone with my right hand, hit the button. So that's the way I hold it. To have it go right side up, I'd have to hold it with my left, and I'm not left-handed. So I find that a little odd since, like only 13% of people are left-handed, and nothing against left-handers. 2 of my children are left-handed. It's just, I find that a little strange. Okay. In any case, what I wanted to talk about today is something that I've never really talked about before. It came up in conversation last night on the Edge of the Rabbit Hole radio show, which I host with Vanessa Hogel. And we had Rob Gutro on there, and he's a psychic medium. He's written a number of books, and he's also a dog rescuer, along with meteorologist, which is his profession. But he's written 2 books called Pets in the Afterlife, which are really interesting. So we were talking a lot about spirituality and pets and souls of pets and things like that. And so, in our connection with them. And so I asked him a question, told him a story, asked him a question, and it's something that I had not talked about in years and years and years, because I know that people are just not going to believe me that it happened, but it did. So I guess I'll go ahead and tell the story. I thought it would make for an interesting morning mug, and this may be where I, finally lose half of you. I don't know. So I was a kid, probably about 6 years old, and we had a dog, a Siberian Husky named Nickie. And there was this one time that she got out, she got loose, she got into a fight with some other dogs and got injured, and so one of her hind legs was hurt for a while. I remember when my parents found her, they brought her into the house, and we could see the blood on the back of her legs. My sister and I were like bawling our eyes out. So in any case, I took her to a vet, got her fixed up, and I set up a nice little place for her in the kitchen to just kind of hang out and rest out and all that. So because I felt so bad and sorry for Nickie, I brought a bunch of my toys into the kitchen one night. It was, I don't know exactly what time it was, maybe like 8 o'clock or something. It was a little bit later at night after dinner, because there was only the one little light that was on in the kitchen. My parents and I guess my sister were out in the living room watching television. So I brought all my toys into the kitchen. I started playing with them in front of Nickie, but was like interacting with Nickie at the same time, like telling her the story of what's happening with all my little guys and all my little characters and stuff like this. And I don't remember exactly all of what I had, but what I do remember is that I had like this one little guy that was sliding down a slide, and I don't remember the story that I was telling, but it was something like, well, and this guy's gonna slide down the slide and meet up with this guy, right? Right? Question mark. And I swear to God, to this day, that I heard Nickie say right in response. Like affirming what I'm doing. Like, the guy sliding down the slide, right? Right. Swear to God, I jumped up. I went hauling ass out of the kitchen into the living room, and all excited, Nickie said right, Nickie said right. And of course they thought I was like being silly or heard something else or didn't really hear it, whatever. Of course I was like 6 years old. The 6-year-old isn't going to be believed on that. Even as an adult, I don't expect many people to believe it or just be like, well, you were a kid, it could have been anything. But we were talking about that on the radio show last night, and I think Rob's initial response was like, well, he listens to spirits of animals that have passed on, not really living ones. But we talked about it a little bit, and it could have been one of those moments that maybe somehow telepathically, because I was young and open to the idea, and I was having a connecting type moment with her, like in her pain, and I'm genuinely trying to interact with her and soothe her and comfort her and things like that. That it might have been one of those interesting animal to human telepathic type moments. So we'll never know. And that's the only time it ever happened. But yeah, that's my childhood dog talk to me story. I don't think there's too many of those out there on YouTube. I didn't even bother to look that one up. It was just like, I needed something for a morning mug this morning, and that sprang to mind because we were talking about it last night. It's like, I could talk about that in my morning mug. See how many people think I'm off my rocker. But that's what happens. So other than that, right now just dealing with traffic and trying to get through the rain. And 2 days of this is I've got a lot of different things coming up within the coming weeks, doing a lot more with Dave Spinks and David Weatherly. So look for those investigations to come up. Yeah, we have the event in April at the old Sulphur Springs, and then but prior to that, we have some stuff going on out in the Midwest. So there'll be more videos and investigation footage and things like that coming up. So expect those things. As far as what do I have like for interviews coming up? Well, I have an interview tomorrow on Paranormal King Radio, so watch for that. I'm on Noreen Balovich's show again, March 31st. We're going to talk about Victorian era photography. So that's an interesting project. And there's a number of events otherwise coming up throughout the year, like Pinhurst and a couple of others. So I need to get my calendar on my website updated, but there's a lot of stuff coming up. So be on the lookout for all of those things. Really all I got this morning. I probably should just kind of adhere to the road with the rain. So until next time.